Welcome to this short tutorial on the SmartScience Virtual Labs. What you are looking at now is the login screen. To access the labs, first select your name from the drop-down menu and type in the password that was sent to you via email. To launch the application, you will need to download the Java software. To do so, click on the Launch SmartScience Explorations button here, and this will automatically download the software. You may get a message that you may need to click on Keep in order to keep the software. Once the software is downloaded, select it and it will run automatically. So there you go. This is the main menu from which you will choose all the labs. As you can see, the labs are divided into 5 categories: Introductory, Big Idea 1, Evolution, Big Idea 2, Cellular Processes, Big Idea 3, Genetics, and Big Idea 4, Interactions. So depending on what lab you need to do, you will click on the drop-down menus and select one from each category. For now, we're going to just select an introductory lab, this one being the acid-base titration. So I'm going to click on it and then select Choose down at the bottom in order to choose that lab. Most of the labs have an introductory portion like this. As we scroll down, you can see that it has a lab description. Okay, then we have a short quiz that we can take before we start into the actual lab itself. Okay, so as you can see, I have answered all of the questions, and then I'm going to click Submit Answers. Yes, I do want to submit. And then I can see that I have gotten, yeah, I got them all right. Okay, you also get a short explanation below each answer if you either got it right or wrong, so that's good. You close it, and now we're going to enter into the actual lab part.
Welcome to the SmartScience lab about acid-base titrations. In this lab, you'll be observing several different titrations and deciding how the endpoint quality is affected by the strength of the reagents. The chemicals available to titrate in this lab are hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide, a strong acid and a strong base, as well as baking soda and vinegar, a weak base and a weak acid. Pick a hypothesis below or write your own, then press the Enter Lab button to get started.
Okay, so as he clearly outlines, we need to select a hypothesis. Okay, as you can see, I have selected my hypotheses. Now, for some of these labs, you may not have this option. You may have to type in your own hypotheses. But at any rate, once you have typed in your hypotheses or selected it, then you're ready to enter into the lab. So click on Enter. Okay, so there you go. This is a short movie that we can watch. You can do so by clicking on the play button here. And as you can see, the movie is the actual lab taking place. So just imagine if you were there in the laboratory watching this, doing this. This is exactly what you would be doing. Once the movie stops, then you're ready to start taking your measurements. You can do so by clicking on this ruler. It says Start Getting Data. And then follow the instructions as indicated here. It says click on Match to Middle of Beaker in color. So we have to select here the color that matches the color of the beaker. So I'm going to select about right there. Okay, then I'm going to next. Hasn't changed much. Okay, so there you go. You can run it again if you want, in which case you have to watch the whole movie again. But I don't really like my data set here, and so I can always run my lab again, which of course would take a lot more effort if you were doing this in real life. So let the movie play through, you click on the ruler, and we start taking the measurements again. I'm not being very precise here. So now that you can see here at the top that you have different types of experiments, okay, trials that you can take. So for the first one, we had acid base, base acid. Then you have an unknown, okay, whether it's strong or weak, and then your reagent, whether it's strong or weak. So you can play around with the different options here and see which one you want. So you can do a weak with a weak, a strong with a weak, okay? And so when you do, okay, I'm going to go back to acid base and run a strong with a weak, okay? Strong unknown with a weak reagent. So I play it. So basically titrates it in until it changes color. And then we measure. And so we start again. Once again, I'm not being very precise here. I expect you to be much more precise than I am. But as you can see, we move through and it collects the data sets here. And once you finish, I think I messed up, but it's okay. You get the idea. Okay, so it collects the data sets. You can scroll through them, and it also graphs it for you. Now, you can have the different trials. You see the different trials down here at the bottom. And so you can go through and the expectation is that you run all the necessary trials. Okay? Once you finish with all the trials, you can take a quiz. Okay, so now we're ready to take the post quiz, and I'm not going to bore you with the answers. I'll come back to this. Okay, I have finished taking the quiz, and then I'm going to hit submit. Submit answers. Submit. And then I can scroll through, and I can see which ones I got wrong. And once again, I have a short explanation of what the answers were. Okay, once you've done that, you can hit close. And now you get an option for write a report. Now this is your lab report, okay? And so here you can see that it has an introduction, a procedure, results, hypotheses, okay? And so you're expected to go through and fill in each of these sections. When filling out these sections, you need to be as descriptive as possible. And there are some guiding questions here to help you with your answers. So for example, in the introduction, it says, what is the exploration about? What are you trying to discover? Relate to any previous work. Use any new words if you can. So it gives you some hints as to what is expected in each section. Okay, so this is your lab report. Once you finish your lab report, you will submit your answers. Okay, you can also save and come back later and then get a PDF if you want to submit the PDF. So we submit our answers. All right, that's it. This is a short tutorial on the SmartScience Virtual Labs. I hope it made a little bit of sense to you. Good luck.